Hey, welcome back to the Shit That I've Learned video sessions. Okay, well, gonna go back to flying my airplane. That was a goal I had many years ago, um, wanting to be a pilot, fly my plane. So I bought a plane when I had the Ford dealership in Vulcan, and I justified it by, saying that I would use it to fly to various car auctions in Edmonton, Vancouver, wherever, Saskatchewan, even Manitoba, Calgary. And so I bought a Rockwell Commander 112 Turbo, a pretty high performance airplane, 4-passenger, retractable, landing gear, low wing, 20,000 foot ceiling, oxygen, full instrumentation. I was only rated for visual flight rules, VFR. But it was a pretty fast plane. I could go from Vulcan to Vancouver. It was a 200-mile-an-hour plane. Vulcan to Vancouver in 2 hours, 40 minutes. And when you consider that it would take probably an hour and a half to get to the airport from Vulcan, wait another hour and a half, 2 hours, fly to Vancouver, it certainly made sense to fly my own plane. So one day I'm going to fly to Springbank from Vulcan, and the weather is pretty jostly out there. Lots of winds, high clouds, storms, rain clouds brewing all over, and so I take off, and I get over High River on my way over to Springbank, west Calgary, and I could see the clouds closing in. And with them closing in was my limited ability through visual flight rules to break through the clouds, through the ceiling of the clouds, and get into Springbank. So over top of Okotoks, which is minutes in the air from High River, I turned back. I made the decision, and I think a smart one, to turn back to Vulcan and land. And we had severe winds going on at that time, and the runway in Vulcan is a north-south runway, and of course we have west winds and east winds coming out, and the windsock, when a windsock's out, full horizontal, it's I believe it's a 30 knot wind, which is high winds on a semi-cruciform tail on a Rockwell Commander, so you don't have the full rudder you would have with a lower elevator on the tail. So I'm coming into land, and I was relatively new soloing at that time. I mean, I don't know how many hours I had in soloing, and it's a sophisticated airplane, So I'm coming in and doing the approach, coming in the short final, and the crosswind is, I'm trying to crab into the wind so that I'm not being blown off the line of the runway, but I kept getting blown off, so I had to do an abort landing and come back around and try it again. So I ended up doing it 4 times. And on the final time, I said to myself, I'm just going to set this down hard. The landing gear can take it. And if there's any problems in the crashes, I'm not going to be that hurt because I'm coming in stable. So I crabbed in, and ground effects is usually 30 to 60 feet above the ground, and so you lose some of that high crosswind coming in. And I come in and I crabbing, and I turned, and I was straight on with the runway, and I punched down hard, and I landed. And your heart's doing this a little bit, well, quite a bit, but it's one of those experiences that honestly you do need to have. You can read about it all you want, but it's another thing to experience it firsthand and successfully make it all happen. So what did I learn from that? Well, much like everything else, you have to keep calm and you have to go with that repetitive training that you've been going through the whole pilot's licensing series and training, and keeping calm. Remember, ensuring that everything that you were trained on, you were doing, but most importantly, you got to keep flying that airplane. And I think that you can probably take this information and utilize it in most everything else you do in life. You have to keep calm and intuitively work with the situation, come up with the answers quickly, and just deal with it. And remember to keep your head up and keep going and flying that airplane. So there you go. That's another little shit that I learned.